Hey guys, what's up? Jimmy here with another Lots of Games video. Welcome to episode 1 for super cheap NES titles. I'm super excited. When I first started playing the NES, it was a huge revelation for me, mainly because, I had played the Atari 2600. That was my first experience with a home console gaming system, and I enjoyed the games that were on it. But when I first played the NES, Double Dragon and Super Mario Brothers, that took things to a whole new level. So I'm super excited. I've got some really great games I'm going to go over with you guys today. Games that you can pick up on the cheap. I'm going to be going over with you guys 8 games you can pick up on the NES, $20 or less. Several of these games you can actually get for less than $10. But I'm really excited. I will be doing episode 6 for super cheap PS4 games. That one should be up in the next week or two. I was hoping to actually have it up sooner, but there's a reason about it. We'll talk about that later. But today, it's all about the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm super excited. So guys, if you like these types of videos, slap that thumbs up button so I can know to make more. Let's get started with the classic that has had so many releases on multiple different systems and platforms, or systems, handhelds. And this one you can pick up right now for around $20. If you pick it up, there's the gray card and there's also the yellow card. Pick it up, find it on eBay right now for less than $20, and that is Metroid. Now, I had heard about this one from my friends growing up, and I had no idea what this game was all about. He's like, Jimmy, you got to play Metroid. It's incredible. It's so much fun. There's exploring. There's really cool power-ups and weapons. You'll just love it. And he was totally right. Metroid is still just such a classic. Of course, there are lots of follow-up sequels, all different iterations. And guys, this one is just such a blast. So great to play. It really did start it all. One of the best games you can pick up on the NES. To be able to get this one for less than $20. Such a great game. And if you're interested in collecting for the NES, this one is definitely a must-buy and a no-brainer. One quick thing I do have to tell you, with these games I'm going over with you guys, you notice that these are the cartridge versions. If you want the NES copies with the box and the manual, you'll definitely be spending more than $20. So I wanted to keep it around $20 or less. So these are just the cartridge versions. Okay, so next up is a title that actually I had no idea existed for one reason or another. I didn't really have access to game magazines as a kid, but I learned about this one from a friend's house who lived out of town, friends of the families, went to go visit him, and I was shocked when I saw this. And you pick up this one right now on eBay for $18, and that is Super Mario Brothers 2. When my friend said, hey, we have Super Mario Brothers 2, I thought they were joking, because for a few years, I was in love with the first Super Mario Brothers game, and for one reason or another, I had not seen it on the news, or I had not seen a commercial, or none of my friends spoke about it. For one reason or another, I ended up finding out about it after the game was already released, and the gameplay and the settings were just so different, and it took a little while to get used to, but I really fell in love with this game. I love the varied boss battles, being able to kind of climb up to the sky and also kind of dig down into the sand and the dirt, and just so many different directions you can play with this game. This game has a whole lot of charm. I put a whole lot of hours on this game, and this one is definitely a must-buy, guys. It's a whole lot of fun. Super Mario Brothers 2, guys, for $18, a great value. Okay, so next up is a title. I usually don't talk about sports titles in the Super Cheap Games episode, but this one you get right now for $5. There's a reason why I'm going over with you guys today, and that is Double Dribble. I have to, so this one $5 on eBay for on eBay, Double Dribble. There's a reason why I'm going over with you guys this game. Honestly, it's one of the best sports titles on the NES. So much fun. When I was in middle school, I had to share this story. I ended up getting in an accident and I broke both of my wrists. And at the time, I don't think my parents really wanted me to do much gaming. So I think they persuaded my doctor. My doctor's like, oh yeah, you don't want to hold a controller. You want to be able to heal with those wrists. So for weeks, while I was healing with these 2 casts on my wrist, I did not play any games. And to be quite honest, I became so bored. I was bored out of my mind. I remember my sisters were playing the NES. They were playing Double Dribble, and I could not take it anymore. And they kept telling me, my folks said, yeah, you can't play any video games. I ended up throwing the controller on the ground, and I tried my best to play Double Dribble using the controller and my feet. It didn't work that well, but that's how bored and out of my mind it was. That's how crazy it was for gaming as a kid. But this one, I don't know. I just had so much fun with Double Dribble, and it might not be like crazy, insane graphics like the NBA games that are out today, but the fun factor is still there. You could play this game by yourself or with a friend, and for $5, this is definitely a must-buy, one that I strongly recommend that you guys check out. Okay, so next up is a title. It's a port from an arcade game. You can get it around $10 on eBay, and that is Kid Nicky. This is a game that has some really crazy levels, interesting settings, and I love this one in the arcades. I remember my cousin, he had a birthday party at the mall, and his mom rented out an entire arcade, and while all the kids were playing Gauntlet and various race car games, I was stuck at this machine, and I got to play this game as much as I want. No one else wanted to play Kid Nicky but me. Just a fun little action game with really bizarre boss battles at the end of each level. Interesting sound effects and music, but I don't know, something about Kid Nicky really just pulled me in. I was just really captivated by this game. And granted, the NES version isn't as good as the arcade. It's still a whole lot of fun on the NES console. And for $10, it's definitely a must-buy, one that I recommend to you guys. Okay, so next up is an extremely fun beat-em-up you can pick up for $11 on eBay. And is better than the original, in my opinion, and that is Double Dragon 2. Again, you can get this one now on eBay for $11. And I was really disappointed with the first Double Dragon game on the NES because that one did not have two-player. I think there was two-player on the Super or the Sega Master System of the first Double Dragon game. But Double Dragon 2, they changed that. You'll be able to play co-op with your friend, take down waves and waves of bad guys. This is just a fun game that I put so many hours with. My favorite level is when you're up in this helicopter and you're fighting the different guys, and the door to the helicopter keeps opening up. And if you're close enough to the door, if you punch the baddies close enough to the door, they'll get sucked out. It's kind of like an easy, fun way to knock your opponents out of the way and make them go flying to the ground. Just a great beat 'em up, one that I highly recommend you guys check out. Okay, next up is actually another title that got its start in the arcades. You can pick it up right now on eBay for $8, and that is Marble Madness. Now, granted, I do have to say Marble Madness on the NES is pretty challenging using the gamepad. It's still a whole lot of fun. Just something about having to go down these really narrow lanes or really just tight places while controlling this marble and doing your best. And looking at it, you're like, oh, that looks pretty easy, but using the gamepad it can be quite challenging. But this is a game that I had a whole lot of fun with growing up, and for $8, now is a great time to pick this one up for your NES. Okay, so next up is a title you can pick up for $9 on eBay, a very different game, and that is Joust. So in Joust, you're this rider, and you control these ostriches, and you, just like the title says, you're jousting against your various opponents. And there's an interesting gameplay mechanic in the sense that one of the buttons, or you're controlling your ostrich or your gigantic bird, doing your best to not get taken down by the other ones gunning for you or trying to get you. But then you've got this mechanic where you have to flutter or flap your wings, and it actually controls quite well. This is another one that was in the arcade. This is a whole lot of fun. Joust is a great title. It'd be interesting to see if there would be a modern day company try to bring this one back, but I had a whole lot of fun with this one in the arcades and the NES, and for $9, this is a great price and a great game to add to your collection, especially if you're looking for something unique and interesting. Okay, so my final title I'm going to go over with you guys today is a game you can get up for your NES for $8, and that is Commando. Oh my goodness, Commando is a title that I put countless hours on growing up on the NES. I remember spending just days and days at my cousin's house during Christmas break trying to beat this one. And you've got, dozens, and, through these levels, you got hundreds of these enemies gunning for you, throwing grenades. You've got these vehicles coming at you. And I also like these little areas or hideouts that you had to find as well. It is pretty straightforward for the most part, but I don't know, something about Commando, it was just a game that I was able to have a whole lot of fun with. And to see that it's a game that, you don't have to break the bank to add to your collection is a huge plus. Definitely check out Commando, guys, right now, around $8 on eBay. I think you guys will have a whole lot of fun with it. Well, guys, there's episode 1 for super cheap NES games. Any NES games you guys want me to cover for the next episode, let me know in the comment section below. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you later.